Hi everyone! So we're going to do another synopsis, little reading here from the wonderful Dr. Michael Greger from his How Not to Die cookbook, because this is very insightful and I believe it will help a lot of people too, because like I said before in a lot of my other posts, like, you know, people hear about plants and they hear about a plant-based diet, raw veganism and everything, and then how important it is not to eat animal products, but they really don't know like everything. Like even myself, I don't know everything. There is so much more to learn, but this is just part of it. And like there are so many benefits that happen to your body, to this environment, to the animals, just everything when you eat your natural diet. So, and I also have a short little story too that ties in with this too. So high blood pressure, what Dr. Michael Greger says here, he says, high blood pressure, also known as hypertension. High blood pressure is the #1 risk factor for death and disability worldwide, laying waste to 9 million people each year globally, and 65,000 in the United States. Increased blood pressure puts strain on your heart, can damage the sensitive blood vessels in your eyes and your kidneys and cause bleeding in the brain. Many doctors are under the impression that increased blood pressure is a natural consequence of aging, just like getting gray hair and wrinkles. After all, 65% of Americans over age 60 can expect to be diagnosed with hypertension. But we've known for nearly a century that blood pressure can remain stable throughout life or actually decrease after age 60. On average, high blood pressure medications reduce the risk of heart attack by 15% and risk of stroke by 25%. But in a randomized controlled trial, 3 portions of whole grains a day were able to help people achieve the same benefit without medication. A cup of hibiscus herbal tea with each meal can lower systolic blood pressure by 6 points compared to a control group. A double-blind, placebo-controlled randomized trial found people with hypertension who consumed a few spoonfuls of flax seeds every day for 6 months lowered their blood pressure on average from 158/82 to 143/75. That could be expected to result in 46% fewer strokes and 29% less heart disease over time. Isn't that amazing? Now let's take that a step further. What if everybody ate their truly optimal diet of raw veganism, maybe even fruitarianism? How much better that would be. That would be even at the next level. It's amazing. Health is amazing. So my little story here that ties into that is my mom. I have shared her on my Instagram and in a few of my YouTube videos in the past, because I remember when I went raw vegan in August 2013. I'm high raw now, most definitely vegan, of course, too, but plant-based vegan for 12 years now. And my mom, in the beginning, she couldn't understand what I was doing, but she was catching on. And my mom actually made a shift, and she went like, I want to say at the time it was like 90 to 95% raw vegan. And she's kind of on the high raw, but she kind of eats meat every once in a while, but she's mainly fruits and vegetables and as raw as possible. And you know what? She used to have like really high blood pressure, was on blood pressure medication, same with my dad. And they always thought, they've had it since they were like really young too, and they were teenagers, young adults. They've had to be put on blood pressure medication. And of course, blood pressure can have effects of our external environment too, but a lot of it stems from what we're eating. So we do have to remember that. Of course, take care of your external things that bother you, that create that stress, that create that too. But mainly it's your diet. So she was able, when she switched, she noticed when she went to her checkups for blood pressure that the doctor said, you don't really have to take blood pressure medication. Like, what's going on here? Like, what are you doing? And my mom told him, and he said, well, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And so my mom was able to eventually cut her blood pressure medication in half, and then eventually completely get off of it. My dad still eats regularly, but he's getting more plant-based conscious and stuff like that, but he still eats regularly like he's always known to. But he has to take blood pressure medication. Same with the rest of my family. I don't. My blood pressure is perfectly normal. It always has been, and it still remains perfectly normal, just fine. But my mom, it was a wonderful thing, because that was one thing she always struggled with, was high blood pressure, and she was able to cut her medication in half and eventually completely eliminate it just by changing the foods that she eats, just by eliminating animal products, at least keeping it to a minimum or none at all, and increasing the raw food intake. That's how much of an impact it has on your body. That's why it's so important to eat as healthy as you possibly can. And you know what you can do? You can do it, because as the Bible says, as God tells us, we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us, right? Most definitely. And I know you guys can do it. I'm doing it. You guys can do it. Let's do it together. And you know what? You're going to feel so much better. Your body's going to be so much better. It can happen. Alrighty guys, so remember to love being raw, vegan, plant-based, whole foods, whatever floats your little boats. Just remember to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself literally. You just know that everything's going to be okay. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, right? Right. So you know, there's that saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So God can lead you to what's right, can lead you to health and healing, but you have to take the steps, and I know you can do it. So put a big old smile on your face today. I hope I did that for you guys, and I will see you next video, okay? Bye everyone.